Welcome to the Workamper Show, a podcast devoted to helping you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. I'm Steve Anderson, the president of Workamper News. Each one of our episodes will either introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to opportunities to work short-term jobs. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
Thank you, Steve. Today I'm going to do a follow-up interview with a certified mobile RV technician I talked to last year. At the time, he was just getting started, and we'll see whether life unfolded for him the way he had hoped. Today's episode is sponsored by The Dreamer's Journey. It's a new online course and community produced by Workamper News. Life is way too short to keep your dreams on hold, so don't be held back by fear, because you were designed for more. Get started in the RV lifestyle the right way with this comprehensive guide. For just $29.95 for 1 year of access, Dreamers have unlimited viewing of 50-plus videos to learn things like what type of RV to buy, goal setting, how to budget for the adventure, developing a positive mindset, setting up a domicile, and operating a small business on the road, plus everything about work camping and how to find the right job for you. Each video is 30 to 90 minutes long to give in-depth coverage on each topic. There's no wrong time to get started. So for more information, visit www.rvdreamersjourney.com. Anthony Montelongo owns Certified RV Solutions. He works as a certified mobile RV technician in North Georgia, fixing problems from Atlanta to nearly Knoxville, Tennessee. He's carved out a rather large market area. He started the business about a year ago after taking classes at the National RV Training Academy, where he learned all about plumbing and electrical systems, as well as equipment generally found on every RV. He grew up in a family that provided residential construction and remodeling services near San Antonio, so he had some familiarity with handyman work. When COVID caused problems and kept people from traveling on planes and staying in hotels, Anthony knew they were still using RVs, and because everyone was so stir-crazy, they were using their RVs all the time. That meant they'd break and need repair. So Anthony took all the courses offered by the National RV Training Academy, got certified, and went to work at an RV dealership for a while before venturing out on his own. He selected North Georgia because it was closer to some family members and situated in a particularly beautiful part of the state that's popular with weekend and seasonal RVers. Anthony is very busy at the moment. In fact, he noted that new RVs have more problems today than at any time in history, and for a variety of reasons. Fit and finish problems top the list of complaints, followed by water leaks and quality issues overall. In one instance, he discovered a new RV without an exhaust port for the furnace, which could have allowed deadly carbon monoxide to get inside. He said the problems are related to historically high demand for RVs, yet manufacturers can't find enough workers to build them. That means RVs are often rushed out the door before they're truly finished, causing problems for RV owners and a wonderful opportunity for mobile service technicians to fix them. To give us an update on what's going on for his business and to describe the problems he's seeing in the RV industry, please welcome Anthony Montelongo to the show. Thank you for joining me today, Anthony. I really appreciate the time. We talked, what was that, a year ago, right?
Right about a year ago this time.
Yeah, super. And you had just started an RV repair business doing a mobile RV service. And so why don't you fill in everybody about where you are right now?
Well, good morning, Greg. It's a pleasure to be back. I'm happy to be back on the Workamper News podcast. Last time we spoke, it was early on. I had started the business right around the beginning of the year, just actually before the new year. But when we spoke, I had really launched into it, and it was full time. And fast forward to now, a year later, it's been one of the most exciting, bumpy, all over the place rides with RVs. You know, they're very unpredictable. All kinds of stuff happens. You have people coming from every corner of the country. And it's been a lot of fun. It's had its challenges, its ups and downs, but I mean, extremely, extremely rewarding. As you know, the people in the RV world are really, really good folks. 99% of them will give you the shirt off their backs. And I'm having a lot of fun.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you're still making money doing this, right?
Yes, sir, I am. I'm able to pay the bills and keep the lights on and go camping myself from time to time when I'm not slammed with work.
Remind everybody why you got into this.
I got into this because I wanted to do something different. I grew up in the residential construction and remodeling business in San Antonio, Texas. I was the third generation of my family to do that business. And it was good. It's what I had known all my life, but I wasn't fulfilled. I didn't wake up happy or excited to do it. And I wanted something different. And I happily say I'm a total opportunist. I jumped into this industry because of the COVID craze. Nobody could travel on planes or hotels anymore. So there was a major shift into RVs. And there was already a need for more RV technicians and inspectors. But as a huge part of this country moved into RVs, I went to the training academy, got certified, worked at a dealership, opened my own business, and just things fell in line.
That's great. And so you opened your business about a year ago, is that right?
Yes, yeah, it was late 2020.
Okay.
I was kind of laying the groundwork for it while I was working at a dealership. I was living an hour away, so keeping those two things separate. But yeah, I've been full time in my business since about January of 2021.
That's great. And what attracted you to this kind of lifestyle? Because you live in an RV yourself, right?
That's correct. I What attracted me to it is I love traveling. I love people. I'm a people person. Getting to help people is awesome. Meeting new people, seeing new places. So the idea of, hey, I've got a house on wheels and I can be anywhere I want at any time, it was really attractive to me. And knowing that, RVs have their challenges, right? Every time they go down the road, it's kind of an avalanche or an earthquake inside there. So knowing that I could help people and get them back on the road so they can enjoy their family vacation, their hard-earned savings, it's a very rewarding thing. And I just saw an opportunity and I took it, and I filled a need in my area in North Georgia.
And why North Georgia?
Well, my mom and my stepdad had been living there in a little town up there called Ellijay, and I had visited. It's a very pretty place. It's a place I had never lived. So I saw it as a pretty big challenge to go somewhere that no one knows who I am, to open up a business no one's ever heard of. And in the middle of a pandemic, when everyone's shutting down and, hiding behind their closed doors, I said, hey, why not now, right? Take the ultimate risk, the ultimate challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great idea. I'm glad I did it.
And what did it take for you to prepare for this kind of opportunity, to support yourself on the road and to just be in business for yourself?
It takes a lot. I didn't grow up being a mechanic or a tradesman per se. I grew up more on the business side of things. My father and my grandfather were entrepreneurs, so that's where I was raised, on the business side of things. So that's where I had more knowledge. I did go to business school in San Marcos, Texas, at Texas State University. And then I decided to go to the National RV Training Academy in Athens, Texas. I did their 5-week certification course. I lived there, right? So for 5 weeks straight, it was eat, sleep, breathe, RVs, and repeat. And that's where I got a huge portion of my learning on the hands-on technical. And then, of course, there's nothing like learning with your hands in the field, on site, to marry the actual technical knowledge and what you learn in a classroom.
Mm-hmm.
So it was my youth. My father taught me a lot about how to run a business and marketing and just customer service. I come from the construction world. I worked in hotels and resorts. So the way I treat my customers is a little more of a white glove service, where I really take care of them, as opposed to, just showing up, fixing something, and disappearing.
What are some of the things that you're seeing in the field right now when it comes to fixing RVs?
Right now, unfortunately, the newer RVs have more issues than they've ever had in history. And that's largely due to the pandemic, and there's so many factors. And, the RV industry, it's unique, but the challenges it faces are not unique, whether it's labor shortage at the factories, parts shortages, supply chain disruptions, massive price increases, fuel prices going up. The level of quality coming out of these factories has suffered tremendously over the last couple of years. And so I actually work on newer RVs about half as much as I work on older ones, which you would think, hey, you're getting a brand new one. You would think that there wouldn't be many issues, but that's just not the case.
What are some of the biggest problems that you're seeing with them?
Fit and finish, but every day is something different, whether, something is just not even connected at all, or they will install, let's just say, a furnace, but not put a cutout for the exhaust, which is a pretty dangerous thing. Or the materials are getting thinner. They're rushing them. They're coming straight from the factory with water leaks from the roof. Every day is something different, but it really is just a lack of quality control, maybe lack of training the people. I do know, I speak with the factories in Indiana often, and I know they have massive turnover. So I imagine at this point, a lot of these factories are just putting any body they can in whatever position to get that RV out the door by Friday evening. And so they have their quotas, they have their stakeholders and shareholders to appease. And so the quality has just suffered in so many ways.
This sounds like it creates a pretty good opportunity for somebody who wants to get into a business for themselves by fixing RVs. There's plenty of work to do.
There is plenty of work. I would say at least right now in my area of northern Georgia, since the beginning of the pandemic, fast forward 2 years now, we're about to hit 2 years here in March, April. At least in my area, it's become pretty saturated. A lot of people have seen that opportunity. And since I've been there the last year and a half, it's like every week I see some new service or some new company jumping into this. So yeah, there's still a lot of opportunity, I would say, in different parts of the country, but people have caught on, and then a lot of people jumped on the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And so how do you find your customers?
They typically find me. I do, of course, in-person marketing and go talk to the customers at the RV parks or the managers, the work campers, people who live on site and they work at the park or the resort in exchange for a place to live. I do a little bit of online marketing from a different social medias, Google, Facebook, the like. And I go to different trade shows, right? In my town in LJ, they'll have different festivals or outdoor events. I'll go there, hand out cards or marketing materials, or sometimes I'll set up a little table and a little booth and just talk to people. But now that I've been in this for a while, it's people find me.
Right. I can imagine that there's a number of repeat business opportunities and also referrals because RVers talk to each other.
RVers love to talk, and I try to take care of my customers the best way that I can, and they do refer me out, and I do have repeat business, and that means the world to me. So, again, when I first started this, I was no one. The company no one had ever heard of me, and so for people to share my name and to call me again and again, that's very, very humbling, and I couldn't be more appreciative.
For people who are considering becoming a RV technician and providing this kind of mobile service, is it a kind of thing where you are having to work all day long, or can you pretty much set your schedule if you don't want to work as hard or as often?
It's a great question, and the answer is both. Once you become established and you're known in your area, you can work as much or as little as you want. It also depends on what you need to make ends meet each month. But I'll tell you, in the summertime, when things open up, I could work. If I had the energy and I didn't need sleep, I could work 24/7, probably from June to August, or
Wow.
even May to August.
Wow. It sounds like it's almost as easy as putting a sign on your door that, hey, I'm a mobile technician, and driving through a campground.
It can be. And of course, you have to have the skills to fix those items, because being an RV technician is you've got to be a jack of all trades. When you're in your home, you own a normal home, you call a plumber or an electrician or an HVAC guy or a painter. When you're an RV technician, you're all of those things. So you've got to come equipped. Now, I don't work on engines or generators, so I handle about 80% of RV repairs on a mobile scale. But yeah, if you put some magnets on your truck and you ride around an RV park, yeah, eventually you're going to get stopped. It also just depends on your skill level, what you can offer the customers.
Okay, very good. There are different types of specializations. Like you had mentioned, the RV technicians seem to have to be a jack of all trades. Is it possible for a technician to specialize in a specific thing and have enough work to do? For example, all we're going to do is winterize RVs and then de-winterize them.
Yes, you could, but that's going to be very, very cyclical and seasonal, right? If you're only doing winterizations and de-winterizations, you're going to be busy. Depending where you are in the country, at least in North Georgia, you'll be busy November, December, and then February, March, April. The rest of the year, you'll have to find something else.
Okay.
So the more that you're able to do, the more skills you have, the more you have to offer, and then, of course, the more business you can tackle.
How much did it cost for you to get into business for yourself?
With the training, the tools, the registration, all of that, I would say it's probably about a $15,000 investment, probably more. Of course, you got to factor in work truck, tools, training, certifications, registration, paying some upfront fees to the state, to just making sure that you do everything legally and properly. But yeah, I'd say probably $15,000 to $20,000 investment.
Okay. And you're able to recover that relatively quickly?
Yes, I have recovered that. And of course, it's going to, depend on how aggressive you are with your marketing, what your skill level is, how many different things you can help with. But yes, it's not, I don't think it's one of those business where you have a massive investment and it takes you 3 to 5 years to get it back.
Okay. What's the biggest challenge you've found on the field?
The biggest challenge, at least for the last year and a half, has been getting the right parts in a timely manner. It's been, I call it a game of whack-a-mole. Last year we had that freak blizzard storm that hit Texas,
Right.
I think in February. And overnight, the entire country dried up of water heaters because the good folks in Texas weren't prepared for such a massive blizzard. I used to live there. We never had one of those when I lived there. And so a ton of people living in their RVs or vacationing there had their water heaters freeze and bust overnight. And so within a matter of days, all the water heaters in the whole country were gone, or those who had some, gouged the prices 3 or 4 times what a normal water heater might be. That's just one example. So to answer your question, it's been getting what I need sometimes. Sometimes I can get exactly what I need tomorrow. And then sometimes right now I'm waiting on an awning and they told me 7 to 8 week lead time for, a tube and some fabric. So every week, every month is a little bit different. And then of course you go to, the customer calls you out and they have, one odd or end part that you don't stock on your truck because you've seen it once or twice ever. That's like any business.
Okay. Now, as far as inventory is concerned, do you have to maintain a large level of inventory to be able to service your clients?
You don't have to. I like to keep the most commonly used parts, but you don't have to. If you don't keep any kind of inventory, then you'll have to, I guess, decide as a business decision how you charge people. Are you going to charge them to come out and diagnose it and say, oh, okay, I need to order this part, I'll be back? Then do you charge them a second time? Do you waive some of it? So to answer your question, no, you do not have to keep a large inventory or any inventory at all, but it'll be a case-by-case decision how you charge people, what the local market is willing to take, right? Some areas are more affluent and some areas are not.
Okay. So it all depends upon the particular area that you're going to be servicing. as to the level
Yes,
of and that would kind of make sense to me, because if you're in an area that doesn't have a real need for heat a lot, you're not going to have as much demand for heater parts.
that's correct. Right. If, in a house, if I had an electrical issue and I called an electrician and he had his service call plus hourly to tell me what the issue is, and he needs to order a specific part, and he says, okay, when I come back, I'm going to charge you again the same thing, a full service call and a full hour. I might pause and say, okay, that again, it's going to be depend case to case on what the people are willing to pay in that area. And that's how I look at inventory. But yes, I do keep the most commonly used parts.
Okay. Let's talk about inventory for a bit, because you had mentioned that there are some issues with shortages coming on right now. Uh, is it tough for you to get parts?
It just depends on what it is. It seems like the supply chains are slowly coming back together. I know last summer we had a tough time getting air conditioners, and then for a while it was a tough time getting water heaters. Well, for the most part, those have come back around. Awning parts are still, far out. There's a specific type of air conditioner where the manufacturer is back ordered. There's none on the market, and they can't tell you when they're going to get it. So I'd say right now, probably about a 75-25% split. I can get what I need when I need it 75% of the time. About a quarter of the time, it's going to take a long time. And it's usually those are the ones that hurt. The one when you need something the most, or it's the biggest dollar job, that's when you run into parts shortages and supply chain issues.
Right. I know one of the biggest common or most common complaints that RVers have is the lead time it takes to get things uh, into the shop to get fixed. And with mobile technicians, you can often avoid that, because they generally have availability within the next of that day or the next day or so. So rather than 5 or 6 weeks waiting to get into the shop, you can get something repaired within a couple of days. But doesn't RV part shortages and the ability to get that going to influence that across the board and cause the same problems for mobile techs and the dealership technicians?
That's a good question. And yeah, I agree with what you said, but it's also going to be a case by case basis. A shop, they're going to have a larger budget. Oftentimes they have investors, so they can keep a lot of items on the shelf. And if they keep an item for a long time, well, it's not going to hurt them so much as a 1 or 2 person business. But yes, in my area here in North Georgia, shops are telling people 2, 3, 4, even 6 months waiting time to get a simple repair done. And that's just to look at the appointment. Once they look at your RV, it might be another X number of months to get that part in. The great thing about mobile RV technicians is we offer a level of flexibility. But it's important for people to remember that mobile RV technicians is a convenience, right? So we are a convenient solution, so you don't have to take an entire day off to drag your trailer to the shop, wait months, take a second day off to go pick it up and drag it back to your house. So with that convenience, mobile technicians, you might pay a little bit more than you would at a shop. But again, we're getting it done there, right there on site. And we're responsible to the customer directly, right? If you go to some of these big box shops, you're a name and a number and their system, whereas I like the way I do things because it's very people oriented. It's face to face. We can build a relationship directly with the owner of the business to the customer, as opposed to, several levels of service advisors and managers and administrators.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Are you going to, fuel prices are going up all across the country, world, actually. Is that going to cause a problem for RVers when, we know it will when they're traveling, but when it comes to getting their unit serviced by a mobile technician?
Yes, it will. Now, fuel prices is one of the few things that touches everyone everywhere. The cost of milk is going to go up because the cost of diesel and your semis are going up. The cost of RV parts are going up because the cost of the fuel to get it from the tankers from China to America, the fuel it takes from getting from the ports to the warehouses, from the warehouses to your local distributor, everything is going up. That includes the fuel that I put in my truck. Here in Georgia, I'm paying over $5 a gallon for diesel now. And I have done everything I possibly can to not raise my prices. I try to make it efficient so that I can still make a little bit and treat my customers right. But if I don't adjust my service call or fuel surcharge, I won't be able to stay in business. And then people will have no option than to go wait 6 to 8 months to get their RVs fixed in the shop, which if they take it to a shop, those parts are still going to cost more, and those shops are still going to raise their prices because they can. And so, yes, right now we're all in it together, right? We're all, the customers who bring their RVs to the area, whether it's gas or diesel, they're paying more at the pump. And I have to pay more at the pump also to get myself from my home to their RV at the RV park, their home, their storage facility, whatever it is. So, yeah, it's going to be an adjustment period. How much is it going to hurt the industry? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I stay on Facebook groups a lot. You see a lot of people saying, well, I'm going to camp closer to home. But a lot of people are saying, no, this is what I want to do. We've been waiting all year. We've been saving all year. The family's excited. We're going to bite the bullet, and we're going to pay these fuel prices to continue on the vacation we planned. So, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of adjustment, a little bit of pain all around. But at least for myself, it's not because I want to. It's because I need to stay in business so I can still continue to service my customers.
And I would imagine that the fuel prices are going to impact everything along the road. Like you had mentioned, it's going to cost you more money to have the parts shipped because the shippers are going to start imposing these fuel surcharges, and you'll have to pass that along to customers as well.
That's correct. And if there was a way that I could avoid that, I would. I absolutely would. But that unfortunately, the higher prices is definitely a trickle-down effect. Like I said, from the ships to the ports, from the trucks to the facilities to the local shops, from the freight driver bringing it from the local distribution center to my home. Everything is going up, and it's going to impact us all.
What's the weirdest repair that you've seen since you started your business?
That's a great question. Let's see. A couple will stand out. One time I was going deep into the woods of the Blue Ridge Mountains. And it was late at night, right? It was a late night burner call. It was, 30 degrees out. Ooh. And this gentleman calls me that his heater's out. And so I go out there, and you turn into this, gravel road that goes deep into the forest. You lose reception, and then it gets kind of eerie. And you're just following the road per his instructions to get to his RV. We get there, and it was a couple hippies, right? Like I get there, like, hey man, our heater's not working. Can you please help? We got him fixed up, but that was a funny one. The other one that stands out is another one also in the Blue Ridge Mountains. These folks were living in their RV while they were building their home, and their furnace, their heater, once again stopped working. So I get to the location where the furnace is located, and it was absolutely covered with rodent, feces, droppings, nest. I mean, I've never seen a furnace more, I'm sorry to say, but disgusting. Like I walked out of there when I was done itching. So you see some things, you really do. And again, my customers vary from the high affluent to the folks that live in the trailer because that's their only option.
Okay. Is there anything RVers can do to maintain their RVs themselves so they can avoid a lot of these service calls or certainly reduce them?
Sure. And there's plenty of good videos on YouTube. If you go up there and type in RV maintenance or DIY for do-it-yourself RV maintenance, You can flush your water heater at least once or twice a year, empty it out, get a hose in there, or there's a little attachment, flush out all the calcium deposits, all the gunk that's in there. That way your water heater tank doesn't rust or corrode. You can get up on your roof, on your air conditioner, and vacuum out any debris that's on the fins of the condenser evaporator. You can use AC coil cleaner. One of the biggest things that folks can do for themselves is keep their tires inflated properly on the driver's side of their RV. There should be a sticker that tells you the size of your tires and the PSI. And then once a year, if you're traveling a lot, once a year at minimum, have someone qualified inspect your brakes, pack your bearings. The worst thing that can happen to an RV is have a blowout on the road, and it causes thousands of dollars worth of damage.
I can imagine that would be, and it's scary to have something like that happen.
It is. Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, yeah, it can damage the RV itself. Worst case scenario, you're flipping the RV and your tow vehicle. It can get bad really quickly. And again, to the folks, if you've got an older RV, check the date on your tire. You need to be changing your tires every 5 to 7 years. That's just trailer tire standard. I'll have folks tell me, well, there's so much tread left. Why would I change them? And I tell them, I hear you. You're right. That's a lot of tread. But what you don't see is what's inside those walls. Dry rot, some separation. They might look just fine on the outside, but once they hit that 7-year mark, you've got to change them immediately. And that's just the most safe thing you can do for yourself and your family.
And that's a hard thing for RVers to accept because, they'll buy brand new tires, which are expensive to begin with, and then they'll work these short-term jobs of like a season or two, and before you know it, 7 years have passed, but they've only put on, 10,000 miles on their tires, and people tell them that they've got to replace them, and it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, they don't realize what's going on inside the tires.
Yeah. The most dangerous things that, can happen are the things you don't see. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, I don't love that idea either. I bought my first RV was a used one. The tires looked fine, but they were 10 years old. So it was a miracle an emergency had not already happened. I bought the RV from the gentleman and I went straight to the tire shop. And it's peace of mind. That way, hey, a qualified shop is installing those tires. They're brand new. And then you can focus on having fun with your family or your friends or your loved ones, whoever.
Can you tell our RVers when it's okay to contact a mobile service technician instead of having to make an appointment at a dealership? There's got to be some repairs that you folks can't do on the road.
It's okay to contact us at any time. We prefer you call me first or someone like me first. But there are limitations, right? Now, some are mobile services or have way more equipment and they can do just about anything. But for me, and I would say this is probably average for most mobile RV technicians, is rebuilding a slide out or taking the whole slide out, or changing an axle, a major engine rebuild for a motorhome. That should be done in a shop. Anything like major that looks just way too big, way too heavy to be done out of a truck with a couple guys, that should be done in a shop. If there is major water damage, let's say there's a leak on the roof and now the walls are delaminating or they've gotten real soft, some folks might try to tackle that on a mobile scale. I'll tell people that they need to do that in a shop, or an entire roof change out to replace the rubber roof. At least for me personally, I say that should be done in a shop because here in North Georgia, the weather can change immediately. So imagine taking the whole roof off. You've got your wood, you've got the guts of your RV exposed, and a rainstorm comes out of nowhere. Now you've just doubled or tripled your project, the damage. Mm-hmm. So yeah, absolutely. There are a number of repairs that should absolutely be done in a shop. But I would say 80 to 90% of the time, call me, call your local RV technician, and explain to them the situation. And if they're honest, they'll tell you if they can handle it or if it should be done in a shop.
From a business perspective, what do you like most about the experience?
That no 2 days are the same. At least in my area, where I'm located, I can be in Chattanooga, Tennessee in an hour and a half, or the opposite way and go to Hiawassee or down towards Atlanta. The customers are, like I said, 99% of the time, they are fantastic people. You build friendships. They trust you. They rely on you. And that's the best thing, when people trust you so that you can fix their RV, their trailer, their motorhome so that they can focus on their business, so they can keep working. Like I said, my business is a convenience, and I enjoy that. I enjoy the customer service aspect, taking care of people, seeing their smiles, getting those thank yous, and, oh, can I have a few extra business cards because I have a lot of friends and neighbors with RVs. That's the best feeling, when people ask you if they can refer you.
That's great. Do you have any advice for people who might be considering becoming a mobile technician, especially for RVers who are living and working on the road?
For RVers living and working on the road, get you some training, at least do the first week at the NRVTA. That way you know the basics of your RV. You'll be able to handle a lot of basic repairs yourself. So people who are working and living on the road, that are full-timing in their RV, I would absolutely suggest getting the RV basics under your belt so that you can help yourself more often than not. And for those who are looking to get into this business, I would say wherever you live or wherever you want to open up shop, do your research at how many mobile technicians there are, what their prices are, how many shops there are. In the past couple of years, I would say the NRVTA has put out several hundred, if not over 1,000 new RV technicians. So, do we have all the RV technicians we need across the country? No, not yet. But I think we're getting close to that area by area, right? If you go to a place like Dallas, Texas, which is absolutely massive, there's a ton of mobile techs, but there's also a ton of RV parks. So like any business, before you even make your first phone call to any RV shop or school or anything, know your market, know your locale, and what the need is. Call an RV park, your local RV park, and say, hey, do you guys have many mobile technicians? Do you guys need help? Sometimes you get the response, yeah, we've got 7 business cards right here on our desk. Or you'll get the response, no, we need someone, please bring some cards.
Very
Do
good.
your research. If it's going to be a business, then do the business research before you actually go and buy tools or try and set something up.
That's great advice. So, Anthony, if people wanted to get in touch with you to talk about either your business or to even schedule a repair job, how do they do that?
Absolutely. My company is Certified RV Solutions. I'm located in Ellijay, Georgia, just down the road from Blue Ridge, not far from the Tennessee line. My company phone number is 706-502-3365. You can find me on Facebook, Yelp, Google, Bing. As time goes on, I'll add myself in more places. But yeah, I'm pretty easy to find, just Certified RV Solutions. And like I said, I love what I do. I love taking care of my customers. And ever since the last time that you and I had this conversation on this podcast, I've actually had several people reach out saying, hey, I'm thinking about opening up a shop in California or Missouri or whomever. And so I've had the pleasure of, talking to a few people and giving them, a little bit of time, just like so many good folks gave me the time when I was looking at getting into this.
That's great. Well, thank you very much, Anthony. I really appreciate the time, and I wish you the best of luck here for the rest of 2022 and beyond.
Thank you, Greg. I really appreciate you having me on again. I wish you and your family the best and the show the best, and have a wonderful year and a great summer.
I appreciate Anthony Montelongo for coming back on the show to provide an update about starting a mobile RV repair service. Many Workampers have used this as a way to support themselves on the road as mobile technicians. They take training to learn how to fix their own RVs, then discover they can make a good living working as often as they'd like to work wherever they want to travel. Marketing an RV service business is often as easy as driving through a campground with magnetic signs on your vehicle. Sometimes campgrounds keep a list of local service technicians for their guests to call whenever they have a problem, and once a technician gets a few repairs under his belt, word-of-mouth advertising usually keeps the phones ringing. Anthony said RV technicians are a jack of all trades. They work on plumbing and electrical problems, fix refrigerators, furnaces, air conditioners, awnings, generators, solar systems, hydraulics, water heaters, sidewalls, and roofs. The versatility required to fix RVs gives technicians essential skills to find work in any economic situation. Anthony said it cost him between $15,000 and $20,000 to take all the training, buy the tools, and get his business registered with various government entities. Many mobile RV technicians are able to charge $100 an hour for their services, which means they can recover their initial investment relatively quickly. Right now, getting parts for RVs is a real challenge, not just for RV dealerships and mobile technicians, but ultimately for consumers too. Fuel prices are also a challenge, which will result in increased trip fees for mobile techs. But they can often fix an RV in a matter of days, while RV dealerships and service centers are generally booked months in advance. However, as a general rule, it is relatively easy for mobile repair technicians to get parts with most circumstances, which means they don't need to stock a lot of expensive or bulky inventory. That makes being a mobile RV technician an even more attractive business opportunity. Being a work camper doesn't mean you have to get a job at a campground or amusement park. You can also own a business of your own and work for yourself, like Anthony does. I know he's going to be successful wherever he goes because he has the skill and training to offer a valuable service in high demand throughout the United States and Canada. I wish him the best of luck as he continues to grow his business in North Georgia. If you'd like to connect with him, visit www.certifiedravsolutions.com. This episode has been sponsored by Workamper News. With its Diamond and Platinum membership tools, Workamper News is much more than just a job listing website. When you put the tools of this professional service into action, you'll find out just how easy it can be to turn your work camping dreams into reality. The one-year memberships open the door to a one-stop shop for all things work camping. Being the original resource for work camping, you'll find the largest number of job listings, be able to connect with a community of work campers, and peruse resources compiled by experts who've enjoyed the RV lifestyle for many years. Most Diamond and Platinum members receive inquiries from their online resumes within a day of being posted. The Work Camper Experiences section has been piling up reviews of employers since 2007. Each archived issue of the Workamper News magazine lists hundreds of available jobs. Hotline jobs are emailed right to you for the states you're most interested in visiting. If you're serious about leading a successful and enjoyable work camping lifestyle, then a Diamond or Platinum membership is for you. You can even get started with a free 30-day trial by visiting www.workcamper.com/trial. Embark on new adventures today with the support of Workamper News behind you. That's all I have for this week's show. Next time, I'll be speaking with a woman who develops lesson plans and resources for school teachers while traveling with her husband from place to place. I'll have that interview on the next episode of The Work Camper Show. Thank you for listening.